So it looks like a brand new Easter egg has been discovered in Black Ops 4 Zombies in the form of a radio. And why this is so interesting, it's not just any normal radio, it is actually connected to Black Ops 6 Zombies. How coincidental is it that a storyline being Chaos, which at the time wasn't connected in any way, shape or form to the Ether timeline, is now connected to Black Ops 6 via the Dark Ether story? At the time of BO4 Zombies, we had two different storylines, Chaos and Ether. Chaos was the new one, which involved our new characters, Diego, Bruno, Scarlet and Shaw, and Ether of course was the old story that we'd had since World at War with Richtofen, Takeo and Klein Dempsey. But the two of them, as we were told by the director of Zombies at the time, Jason Blundell, were not connected. They just weren't. That wasn't his intention. The original plan was to end the Ether storyline in Black Ops 4 and then continue the Chaos storyline after that in Cold War Zombies, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 3 and now Black Ops 6. But due to some unforeseen circumstances, we know Jason Blundell left Treyarch, that new Chaos story at the end of that game was left on a cliffhanger, and it was supposed to have been forgotten about, and it was, until Vanguard Zombies, where we had a slight mention of it again for about 2 seconds in a radio, and now in Black Ops 6 Zombies we've come full circle because Treyarch have done a 180 and fully integrated the Chaos story into the new Dark Ether story, making this lost radio, which should be irrelevant to us right now, more important than ever. So anyway, this was actually found by Detonated, so I will leave the link to them in the description. Prior to this discovery, you could only access this radio via leaks. No one knew how to find it in game, how to activate it. So we had it in the form of data mined audio, but no one knew where exactly on the map you could find it. We knew it was on Voyage of Despair, but that was it. And considering radios are some of the first things to be found in Zombies maps, I have never seen a situation where we are 6 years later and we have only just found this radio. And what makes it even worse is we knew it existed because we had the data mined information about it, but no one actually discovered it in game, which means it was very well hidden, and well, it was. If you come to this location on Voyage of Despair in the third class berths, right up here in the top corner of this wall, you can see the cylinder for this radio. You can jump up, press the interactive button on it to collect it, and then place it inside of the gramophone in which the radio will play. But how no one saw this before, because yes, it's more hidden than a lot of other radios, but you walk past here and it is noticeable. It's not like it's hidden with a shadow or blends in with the background. It's just a random cylinder that if you just looked up for a second, you should notice something odd. So how none of the thousands of players that have played this map noticed this, I don't know. I mean, there's the chance they did, but as far as recorded evidence of it ever being found, no one knew where it was. But you look at this and that's a pretty obvious location. It's not that well hidden. But getting back to the exciting information, this isn't any normal boring radio that isn't important to us anymore because it's being found on an old game. It actually is really important because it talks about Prima Materia, which is currently something that Richtofen is attempting to find and manipulate. The radio is from Alistair Rhodes. Just take a listen to what he says.
Materia, it is the key, the crucial, essential ingredient to life itself. The power to create, to enlighten, to enhance. For centuries, it was believed extinguished, expunged from Earth. But when Shaw and I encountered it, I witnessed its power. It was everything. Primitive, formless. To call it unstable would be a disservice. It is chaotic. Raw. Chaos. And while it wields the power to manufacture unfiltered beauty and wonder, unsafe exposure to the raw material can exposing the cruelty and savagery our evolution has buried. The lurking beast that we suppress shreds our skin and is revealed.
So Alistair gives us an in-depth description of what Prima Materia is, and funnily enough, I've just recorded a video where I talk about it for about 10 or 15 minutes. This would have been really useful to find then, but Alistair tells us that Prima Materia is the essential ingredient to life itself and wields the power to manufacture unfiltered beauty and wonder. But unsafe exposure to it can cause destruction and savagery. It is this which Richtofen is trying to find in Black Ops 6 Zombies, or he's specifically trying to find the Sentinel artifact, which he will then use to obtain Prima Materia's knowledge, which we then think he is going to manipulate to bring back his family, his wife and son from the dead. If Richtofen gets his hands on this, yes, he can do good. It has the ability to grant those which you desire, but on the other hand, he could also cause a lot of damage, and similar to other versions of him we've seen in the old storyline with Ultimus Richtofen and even Primus Richtofen to a certain extent with the Ether and Element 115, too much of it, being greedy, can turn benevolence to violence and peace into war. Similar with Prima Materia, it can consume you, leading to the destruction of civilization. If Richtofen does get his hands on this, yes, he could potentially bring back his wife and son, but also, being that it was the first matter to ever exist, could he undo everything and bring civilization to an end? I suppose it depends on how much do we really trust this version of Richtofen. Yes, we believe he's good in quotation marks, he's nothing like his Primus or Ultimus self, but we've seen some of the things he's done so far in the Black Ops 6 Zombie storyline and the extents he will go to. He's tortured Samantha, he's manipulated the Requiem crew and locked them in Terminus Island, he doomed all of his Project Janus employees at Liberty Falls, pushing Sam and causing a zombie outbreak in turn killing his colleagues. While he may not be inherently evil, he does have selfish traits, and if these traits also get the better of him when he gains the ability to manipulate Prima Materia, if that does happen, he very easily could, by the sounds of it, bring this universe to an end. But getting back to this radio, yeah, how insane is it that we are 6 years on, I don't know the amount of days, and we have only just discovered this radio legitly in-game. Like I said, we had it before when it was data mined, but we never actually knew how to find it in-game, and also because of that reason, it wasn't, as you'd expect, all that popular of a radio. There are loads of other radios in Voyage and all of the other Chaos maps that aren't really too relevant to us now. It's just such a random coincidence that it happens to be this one, which is arguably the most important. This radio in BO4 may even be more important than any radio we actually have in Black Ops 6 because it essentially explains the core of this zombie storyline. This would be, for example, in the old Ether story, if we had a radio explaining exactly what the Ether was and Element 115 in Black Ops 6 Zombies, we now have a radio from BO4 explaining this universe's version of Ether. Ether was what filled the universe, Prima Materia was the first matter, and Richtofen is attempting to manipulate that. And you know what the best part about this is? I can guarantee, even myself, I would say, if it was a different character that was involved in all of this, if it wasn't Richtofen and it was someone else, I don't know, Dr. Grey or Carver that was after Prima Materia, if it wasn't Richtofen, then I don't think anyone would really be that interested. But because it's one of the old characters, a beloved one, most people's favourite, I think it's that what is making an element of the Chaos storyline interesting again, because when Black Ops 4 first came out, no one was interested in the Chaos storyline. It was considered boring. No one was interested in Prima Materia and what it did. Anything involved in that storyline to most people was uninteresting and boring. And so you would think bringing Prima Materia to the current zombie storyline, everyone would be like, okay, I don't care about it, we've heard about it before, but because it is Edward Richtofen that is attempting to manipulate it, that's what makes it more interesting. There is a backstory there with some good lore, but without the right character intertwined with it, it just wouldn't be the same. Even Samantha, I don't think that many people would be as interested, but because it's Richtofen, we all want to know what he's going to do with it. So there we go. How amazing is this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. There was also another radio that was found by Darleak on 9. That one doesn't really have any relevance to the current zombie storyline though, so I'm not going to go over it. But if you want to check it out, it is over on Darleak's channel. But yeah, there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like rating if you've enjoyed. Make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.